Hello everyone, welcome to AKS IAS. In this session, we'll discuss about the geography questions which appeared in recently conducted UPSC Mains 2022 guys. So as you are aware, geography is in paper 1 and in paper 1 you had significant questions from geography and most importantly they were straight and direct, it was directly picked from NCERT books. But the important thing is one or two questions were out of the box, which was not accepted. But still, I'll give you what exactly must be the overview, guys. So, first important thing, describe the characteristics and types of primary rocks. This is seriously a question which, if you are not able to write, then it's you're not running in the race properly. So, it's a direct question picked about igneous rocks. You know that there are two types, one is intrusive igneous rocks, another one is extrusive igneous rocks. You need to talk about sills, dikes, facholith, right? So those things they are expecting you to write, nothing beyond that. It's a very simple and straightforward. With diagrams you need to write. Extrusive igneous rocks, you need to discuss about the basalt, what will be the size of the grains, right, and how exactly it varies. That's it, directly from the class notes and NCERT you will get this. I just don't want to elaborate and explain the diagrams and all. This was out of the box. It was a googly in the exam as well. Discuss the meaning of the color coded weather warnings for cyclone prone areas given by IMD. Thank God it was for 10 marks. One everyone will be aware is red is like danger, right? So the colors, frankly speaking, it's easy for me to tell now after seeing, but I don't know how exactly you answered in the examination hall. So you'll have green, yellow, orange and red, right? So everything is fine. There is a danger, be careful. Already the rainfall has started, it's very heavy. Things have gone out of the hand, right? You need to act. Disaster management comes into picture. Here the warnings are increasing. We are reaching that threshold level. As I'm trying to tell you, seriously, this was out of the box. I don't know exactly because people in the examination hall will definitely think there may be multiple colors and what is the actual meaning of it until and unless you have seen it correctly, guys. But let me tell you one thing, always cyclones there will be a question, and UPSC has asked questions like how cyclones are named, what is a procedure that is established and all. So at that point of time, one question, it's fine, don't worry about it. But if you can write anything out of it, it's fine. Let me honestly tell you, it is not possible for a student also to write and read each and everything. Just imagine me teaching this topic in the class. If I teach you these are the colors and these are the different things that are there, you will feel I'm wasting your time, right? And you really don't appreciate the class as well. This is the problem everyone faces. In disaster management also they don't go to that level. And now what will happen, okay, once UPSC has asked, then everyone will start including it and trying to tell, see, these are the color codes and we did it, UPSC gave, all these stories goes on. But just frankly speaking, let me tell you, this was out of the box, and even if you have not attempted, it's fine, rather than writing something wrong. Honestly accept sometimes that I don't know, one or two, or if you have, without elaborating these colors, you have told that warnings and all will be given so that people will be able to fight and all. So different colors are being used so that people will be aware what is the problem that is going to happen and how disaster management must be. In different stages they have given different rules that needs to be followed. At least some general things which make sense you can write, rather than writing the colors exactly and doing mistake. Fine. So This was a very good question, which where you need to have some application. You see, guys, natural resource potentials of Deccan Trap. So this is a beautiful question. Now, what exactly is Deccan Trap? In other words, if I take India, if I say Western Ghats, Maharashtra region below Vindhyas and Satpuras, and the eastern side of Western Ghats, you will have Deccan Trap, guys. And in this particular part, you had igneous rocks, and people were talking that this was a region where dinosaurs were there. There are certain fossils of dinosaurs and all. So expecting, there may be oil and natural gas, but there is another counter to it. If igneous rocks are there, how can you get oil and natural gas? Iron is also very, very rare and it's not present much, right? But certain minerals can be present in this particular part. So they are not asking you about which minerals are there, they are asking about natural resources potential. So when you are talking about the potential, your answer must not only include what resources are already there, you must also talk about which resources might be present and which might not be present. So in this particular aspect, iron ore possibility people are talking about. People are talking about fossil possibilities, right? They are talking about bauxite. Most importantly, near the Bhima basin, people are identifying uranium. So those are some of the aspects which are directly picked from the resources. See, guys, in India, we have some resource regions like Chota Nagpur Plateau, which includes your Jharkhand region. Then you talk about central region, which is your Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh region, right? You can also talk about southern region, which is your Rayalaseema, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu region. You may also talk about west coast region, Ratnagiri, Goa and all. You will also talk about Meghalaya Plateau region, which also have significant resources. And people talk about western region. Western region means Gujarat, Rajasthan region. And in this particular part, what are the minerals that are actually present? So once if you are aware about this, any question in the examination hall will be easy for you. First, your basics must be strong, and these are picked directly from the books itself. They are not NCERT books. You have these topics. They have picked from the resources there itself. Examine the potential of wind energy in India for their limited spatial spread. So there are two things, guys. One, I need to talk about potential. See, guys, for wind energy, what is required? Stable air is not helpful. There must be movement, and in geographical term, I call it as advection. And when I talk about North India, what is going to happen? North India is mostly continental climate, and in most of the time we observe some sort of atmospheric stability, guys. As you have atmospheric stability, wind energy potential is extremely less, and this is one of the reason why you have pollution and all getting accumulated in this part. And then the most important potential for us is South India. In geographical terms, if I have to call, it is peninsular India. And in peninsular India, potential is more because of marine climate. And in marine climate, two things which we observe. One is sea breeze and land breeze. And when we are talking about the sea breeze and land breeze, the most important thing that we all need to talk is India is a monsoon country where there will be reversal of winds, but there will be excess winds blowing during southwest monsoons and all. See guys, what is India's potential is this point, right? Reasons for limited spatial spread. They are not asking why wind energy is not developed much. Don't write we don't have technology, like these are the investments problem, land problem and all. That is only partial. What is the core? They're asking why it cannot be spread across. It can be present only in the coastal areas compared to other areas, mainly because of the atmospheric stability and other parts, guys. So the diagrams can be draw India map and show the continental climate and the peninsular India regions. What are the forces that influence ocean currents? This is like, every year mandatorily UPSC is asking this question regularly. So quickly, if I see, first important thing is, winds. Planetary winds are responsible. Second factor is like, Coriolis force. Third is like, gravitational force. Fourth, I need to talk a little bit about configuration of coastlines as well. And then I'm going to talk about fishing. So it's very simple. Wherever warm and cold currents converge, wherever warm and cold currents converge, it is good for fishing. Give examples, draw diagrams, Labrador current and Gulf Stream, Falkland and Brazilian current. And you also need to talk about the third most important thing, Kuroshio and Oyashio. You need to also give about upwelling of cold water, and whenever cold water upwells which are coming from the poles, oxygen content increases, and as oxygen content increases, fish growth increases. Fine. So especially in the Peru Chile region. Now, describing the distribution of rubber producing countries, indicate the major environmental issues faced by them. So guys, if you see, rubber is mostly produced. First you need to say high temperature, high rainfall. When I say it is about high temperature, remember it is your tropical region, right? It is mostly your tropical region where you will have rubber producing because of high temperature. Now high rainfall, Amazon basin, east coast of Brazil, Guyana region, east coast of Africa, Madagascar region, eastern part of Australia, Southeast Asia region, right? South Asia region. You will not talk about this because desert is not good. You will talk about the greenery here, which Congo basin, see, Amazon basin, Congo basin, Brazil, Guyana, eastern part of Africa, Southeast Asia, Polynesia, Central Asia. These are all what? Good rubber producing countries. In India, it is produced in Andaman and Nicobar, west coast of India, and also we are talking about northeast India. One of the major environmental problems for this is you need to have high rainfall, high temperature where forest is actually present. So what is going to happen whenever you go for deforestation, rubber plantation, if you have to increase, then you need to go for deforestation. Second important thing, this is laterite type of soil where high rainfall, high temperature or high rainfall would have led to leaching of the soils. As it is involved in leaching, normally it requires excess of fertilizers and all. Third most important thing, wherever people, even though there is this, they are going for rapid expansion into the nearby areas, which are also reducing the biodiversity. For example, you take the case of India, in Western Ghats, biodiversity loss and forest loss. There are two different things, guys. Deforestation is different from loss of biodiversity. So both are happening in different parts of the world, and it is very difficult to spread. See, the area that we have is very limited. Why? Because this has to be grown in forest areas. If I need to increase the area, then the difficulty is in cutting the forest and environmental issues. Then there are other crops like rice, sugarcane and all, which are competing with this. Because of these facts, it is extremely important that rubber industry is not going well. This was mainly asked because of the issues that were happening in the country. Mention the significance of straits and isthmus in international trade. So now if I look at it, what do you understand by straits and isthmus? The region which connects two land masses or two water bodies. First most important thing for me is Panama. The second most important one is Suez. Third is Bab el Mandab. Fourth is Strait of Malacca, Strait of Gibraltar, right? Now you need to talk about international trade, guys. Each one you take and try to explain how it connects different parts of the world, and say the importance of, first what you will talk about is navigation. Second is how, what you call as sea route is more cheaper compared to others. And third, most of the land masses are interconnected, and if you have to reduce the transportation cost, then you have to pass through these, and historically whoever has controlled this controlled the world. So just talk about certain numbers okay, it's Strait of Hormuz as well. If you see, more than 80% of oil to India comes from Strait of Hormuz. India's most of the exports are for European Union, and that is possible through this route. So those points, if you can elaborate, that must be good enough. Troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather processes. How? See guys, this is like writing entire syllabus about troposphere. One, what is troposphere? It is a region where, with increasing height, what is going to happen? Temperature decreases. Explain about that. You talk about the composition that is present. You say that convection happens, atmospheric circulation, cloud formation, precipitation, hydrogen cycle, nitrogen cycle, all biogeochemical cycles occurs in this, and because of the troposphere only we have life that is actually present. Weather basically means you need to talk about the temperature, and you also need to talk about rainfall. Temperature and rainfall is extremely important when it comes to weather conditions. You need to say latitudinally how it varies, and how in different regions that high temperature, winds and all determine rainfall. So this is what we need to talk about troposphere. Fine. So a basic question, don't worry much. So if at all you people are trying to answer this, please send it to us. We'll give you comments if required. Fine. So guys, we at AKS IAS regularly we have our batches present. So October 10th we'll be starting a new batch, and different optionals are also going to start at the same time. Those students who are interested can enroll and contact us for further guidance and mentorship as well. Thank you guys.
This video is brought to you by AKS IAS.